FinToolbox? If I can get a thumbs up from anybody. Awesome. So what the FinToolbox is it is a white label version of a FinLocker app. I do not know how much you know about FinLocker or how familiar you are. I ask that question of a lot of people a lot of times, and I get answers that it's that Brian V guy with a lot of vowels and not very many consonants in his name. That's the thing he does, right? So I get that quite a bit, and so hopefully here what we're going to do is just kind of explain what it is. But FinLocker is a financial fitness app that's out there that's geared towards early journey home buyers, but also all the way through existing home buyers. And it encompasses a variety of different applications. So let's just say this, it's a pretty cool piece of tech that is out there. It's been out there since I think 2017 is when it kind of got kicked off. Right now, there's probably 75,000 plus consumers that have used it, and thousands of loan officers use this day in, day out to go ahead and generate and bring in business and meet clients where they're at in their home buyer journey. And that's kind of just it as an overview. We'll get to it in a little more detail, but just kind of wanted to start with you there. And my kind of promise for you from this thing here today, as I'm taking your time, is that you're going to walk away with a better understanding of kind of where the market trends are going. But in addition to that, hopefully some tactical things. Now, whether you end up using a tool like the FinToolbox or FinLocker or something else, I want one thing to resonate from you is that the market is moving down this path, and people are going to be getting their information, I believe, sooner up or higher up in the funnel as to where they begin their home buyer journey. And that's enough of me talking. I'm going to kind of bounce to the next slide. Again, stop me if you got questions at any time. So I have literally spoken with hundreds of mortgage brokers, mortgage bankers, and right now today, I feel almost a little bit bad for people that are out there trying to sell loans, because you're literally bombarded every single day with all of these things. This AI tool will bring you 10 closings a month, 4x your business, 5x this. And there's really I can't make a guarantee whether I can help anybody's business. I have a belief that I can probably help you move faster than you are right now on your own, can help get you to a better spot. But to say that I can 3x your business, what if you're doing 100 closings a month? And that certainty revolves around this. If I do the thing, will I get the result? And right now, I'm 100% certain that every person listening on this call, I could sell you a product for 10 grand a month if I guaranteed that you made 20. So it's never a question of the cost being the problem. It's that I don't know if I'll get the result, and is the result worth the potential cost that's there. But I could get you all to pay 100 grand for something that would guarantee to make you 250 a month. It would be stupid not to do that. Right? That would be, I don't know, $800,000 a year. You spend 100 grand. So what we're looking for is some certainty. If I do the thing, will I get the result? And the next slide I'm going to show you here is a formula and something that I am very kind of fond of today. And it's called the larger market formula. And everybody inside of the mortgage space, even the people that are on here from FinLocker, this applies to everybody that sells a product. And essentially what the larger market formula states is this premise, that at any given time in any market, roughly 3% of the population is ready to buy right now. The other 97% are at some point between information gathering to they're aware that there's maybe a problem and something that they can do, to people that are completely unaware. And I'm just going to use this really quickly on renters. If in your marketplace, there's a building that has 100 units, it's not the first place that you rent out of college, but it's kind of you all know what that building is like, where the people there either rent again in that building or something very nice, or their next step is buying a house. At any given time, roughly 3 of those 100 people are in that I need a mortgage right now. You throw your apply now link at them, they actually have a use for it. The other 97 people inside of that building do not have a use for your apply now link right now today. So 3% of them have a purchase agreement in hand, they're hot to trot, they're ready to go. There's another 17% roughly that are in that information gathering phase. This might be somebody that went and it's a lead from Lower My Bills. I guess they don't even sell leads anymore. It's a Zillow lead. It's somebody that's, was just at Lending Tree, and they're active right there. They're out making offers. They're in the mix for a loan. And most of the activities we do in the lending world are happening from right here on up. This is where we spend a lot of our time. It's the client we're trying to get to, and it's really who we're marketing to. There's another 20%. So let's say that's of the 100 people, that's 20 of it of the 100 in the building have a need for us today. Another 20% are probably in that place, like their lease probably expires in the next 3 to 6 months. They're aware of their options that they have to get a loan. They understand that probably a mortgage is something that they'll do at some point, but they're not ready to fill out an apply now link. They're not ready to apply. They're probably not even ready to let you pull their credit or do anything like that. They're earlier in that journey. And then 60% are nowhere near even being ready at all. And I recently did a study, I think 72 or 73% of people polled still believe they needed 15% down or more to purchase a home. That's this whole massive ecosystem here. Now, my question back to anyone here is, what are you doing inside of your day-to-day today? Get to these clients way down here at the bottom of the funnel. The person that doesn't even know that down payment, the DPA programs exist, or they don't even know that they can buy a house on an FHA loan, or they only know what their Uncle Lou told them about buying a house. I don't know if you have a good mechanism here for it. I talk to a lot of real estate agents and ask them, when a client comes to you and says, I have somebody that's buying, they just told me they want to buy next year after their kid graduates from high school. He's a junior this year. It's 20 months out. I don't know what a lot of them even do with that client, but I kind of have a feeling that they don't have a place for them. And in order for us to really succeed tomorrow, the next day, I feel we need a place to really go after this 80% at the bottom that I think a lot of us are missing out on. So I'm going to tell you, and just think about whether you have a place. I want to tell you a company that I know has a place. You guys know who this is? Do you allow any of your clients to go to this place, this Zillow place? I'm not going to walk in there and go in there, but when I click on a link inside of Zillow, so as soon as I click on this house, I want to tell you what happens inside of that experience. And right now, just so you know, Zillow is probably, in my estimation, for the little independent broker, those of us that are out there just trying to carve out our niche inside of our community, wherever it may be, our biggest competition that I see kind of in the future is probably Zillow will be a bigger thorn in your side in 3 or 4 years than Rocket and UWM fighting with each other about, who is better. And the reason that I see that is Zillow right now has about 210 active users, people that go to their site month in, month out. If you think of the population in the US, they're driving a ton of business there. And guess what Zillow's becoming really good at? They're becoming really good at moving very far down the funnel. I think they just recently purchased one of the largest rent places. So they're actually now own companies that help you search for apartments. And they're okay spending the next 3 or 4 years with you as you go from graduating from college to apartment search into the next thing. And they have all of these things, right? They have buyability calculators. They have the showing times. You can find your agent. You can do showcases. They've got a whole CRM built in around their community to drive business back to Zillow agents and Zillow loan officers. They've got Zillow Home Loans that did $7 billion last year after they told the whole lending and real estate world they were never going to get into lending. Well, lo and behold, they're there right inside of it. And they've got a whole title closing process on the back end. So they're going integrated from a renter all the way through a closer, 210 million eyeballs hitting their stuff month in, month out. So for me, if I'm sitting back there and saying, how do I create a business that will make me, whatever your goal is, 500,000, 300,000, 200,000, $1 million a year, what do I need to do to compete with what I see as our biggest adversary today, being Zillow. And that's kind of where, here's some other things. It doesn't fit on there, but again, just highlights kind of all of the places that Zillow's touching the consumer today. So what the FinToolbox is and what FinLocker does, and Chris, if at any time you want to chime in, you've done this presentation way more than me to all the thousands of FinLocker people out there. But what FinLocker is, it's a financial fitness app, and it does a variety of the same things that Zillow's trying to do, all inclusive, but it's doing it inside of an ecosystem just for you. So it's got some credit monitoring and personal finance things. You can think of Credit Sesame, Rocket Money, Intuit Mint, Credit Karma, where clients can go in here, they can take a look at their credit, they can run what-if scenarios, they can do a lot of different things. They can do some budgeting, they can look at where they're spending their money. So a whole lot of things inside of there to help them become ready to purchase a home. And I don't know, Chris, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I'd say, the biggest thing, and John hit it on the head with Zillow, they're trying to capture more people up front and monetize them. If you look at some of these other platforms, Rocket Money did the same thing 3 years ago. They bought Truebill, which was another just expense management app. They rebranded Rocket Money. They bought it for $1.3 billion. So they heavily believed in getting to people further up the funnel. But in all cases, if you look at these companies below, they're either trying to get the transaction themselves, or they're selling data or offering personal loans, credit cards, all these other off-ramps to divert folks from what we're all trying to achieve, is get people homeownership ready and get to that pre-approval and close stage. The app, the FinToolbox app, does not do any of that. The only thing it does is it educates the consumer along the journey, so it guides them in the first part of the process, and then it gives them the important updates in a secure environment where they're not getting their data sold, where they're not getting solicited to. And the other big advantage to this is you're talking to your clients, is they can do all of this in one app, where normally they'd have to go to multiple apps where they're getting advertised and data sold to, but they're also connected to you as their professional advisor. So when they have a question, when they use the app and they're looking at different scenarios, they're getting educated, you're their first point of contact. Hey, talk to me about seller closing costs. Talk to me about how I can buy down rate. Talk to me about, down payment assistance. All these different types of things, where if they're playing in this ecosystem, you're being kept top of mind, because all of those notifications I mentioned that go to the consumer, it's all bringing you back to the app and you front and center.
Yeah. What I like to think about this is, if I allow my clients to go to Zillow, or if I'm an agent and let my clients go to Zillow, I'm essentially putting my client out there to be solicited to. And I look at what Zillow's doing. Their buyability calculators are awesome. I mean, it is a super cool tool to show them exactly what they're able to qualify for, and then queues them up houses based on exactly what they're able to buy. So if you don't have some intervention in there, they're going to go to Zillow. And as a loan officer today, I think that a lot of, especially if you're out working with real estate agents, you want to be in their world at a couple of points. I want to be in their world at somewhere early in the journey, so I can begin to add value along the way. The more value I add, if I meet with somebody that graduates from high school today, and I provide them one piece of content for the next 8 years about buying a house, do you think that they feel somewhat a sense of loyalty to at least let me quote them a deal? 100%. And there's a thing called reciprocity, where when you give to somebody, they will in turn want to give you something back. So the sooner I can make contact with them, the more I can give them through time, in order to kind of get that inner being of theirs to where they feel like they owe me an opportunity. So I want to make contact as early as I can in that funnel. And then I want to be one of the people there at the end that are quoting them a rate when they actually have a purchase agreement in hand. So I want to be at those two places. And this tool does a really good job of, if I can help them with credit, personal finances, The property search and home valuation section of this is off the charts, probably the most underutilized tool inside of the FinToolbox or the FinLocker app. And just so you guys know too, there are a bunch of these different versions of this app out there. So U Mortgage has one called U Home. Edge Financial just signed up one and has, hundreds of loan officers using it. I think it's called like the Edge Mark. What is it called, Chris? You're muted.
Edge Loan Advisor.
Edge Loan Advisor. So you'll see other loan officers in your community pushing this out, doing social posts on it. Understand that the bulk of them are probably using the same app, just under some kind of different enterprise name.
What I'd like, John, if you don't mind, what I'd like to add though is we're still a startup. And so, yes, we're working with a lot of clients and we're growing, but it's still a very unique tool you can offer when you're talking about the millions and millions of consumers out there, that this is something new. In their eyes, this is something new. Same thing when you're talking to realtor partners. We don't sell to realtors directly. So as you're talking about partnering with realtors, we can go into it later about, John and I have spoken about this, kind of how to best position it with them. But it's something that it's not like they can go find it anywhere. It's an invite only. And there is a cost associated to the app. You as a loan officer are paying for it, but you're able to give that then to free for the consumer. And I don't like to undersell that there is a cost, because my see free. Okay, you're just going to take my data and all this. It's a B2B2C model. So you're paying for it, but you're able to give that to your clients at scale for free, because we don't charge, we don't do the HomeBot style charging where you get over a certain amount of clients and then there's another add-on charge.
Yeah, it's free to the consumer. I like to position it as an exclusive. This is exclusive. I pick up the bill. This is something that's free to you, my gift to you. So you're not bombarded. So you're not out there in the world of people selling your data all over the place. But the property search feature is super cool. And then there's a ton of just mortgage education, lending information. There's a way that they kind of gamify it to where you're trying to get 4 stars to be 4-star eligible or purchase ready. So super cool things inside of there. It is a startup. The app though gets better every single day. I pitched this to somebody, the other day, had it a couple years ago, and they were like blown away how much more stuff has come in here. We got a message here. Again, messages are the most important thing. Your thoughts are way more important than mine. From a sales perspective, when do you feel is the best time for a prospect? So I have a couple of different things, and I'm right now just kind of a best practice of this, Ben. So I see what other people are doing. Here's something that I've seen happening and working really well. And this is introducing the app right at initial hello for any client that's not in need of a pre-approval right away. And they're selling it as this. And I'll kind of walk you through the script. They're saying, you know what? Hey, I like to do things a little bit different than most of the people that are out there. They're going to want to pull your credit, have you fax over a bunch of stuff. I know you're not looking for 3 or 4 months. What I want to do is make sure that you have the smoothest process. So the first thing I like to do to all of my clients is I like to do what's called a pre-screen opt-out. How familiar are you with that? So this is a client within the first conversation that you're having. Great. Now, just so we can get a look and feel of your credit, kind of where you stand, I have an app you can go in. We can pull a soft credit pull. We can take a look at where your scores are at. No need to go on beyond that. I'm going to send that to you as well. I'm going to text it to you, sign up. And so they're doing 2 things right there up front. This is for a client that's a little bit further out, trying to get them, one, I want to begin to engage with them. And the app can work really well to stay in front of them. And we'll walk you through kind of what the email journey looks like, because this is really a CRM also on the back end. They don't call it that, but it's definitely a CRM. So that's something that's working really well, and doing it right on day one at initial. That's for a client that's a little farther out. Any of my clients that are even like out actively looking at houses, I'm steering them to complete the app only to use the home search feature, because they can go in, they can favorite properties, that keeps all of their homes inside of one app, and they're not going to get bombarded by Zillow agents. And I usually say, do you want to get called by a bunch of agents, to try and show you a home, or do you just want to kind of look at them in the privacy of your own home? Almost everybody will say that. So those are the places. I try to get them in there as soon as possible. And again, I'm a little selfish. I want to collect the data on them. I want to see what they're doing, their interactions. And the app gives me all of that on the back end. Anything to add there, Chris, or any other questions you might have, Ben, as far as?
If Ben has any other questions, I have a couple points to add.
Fire away.
Yeah, so John did a very good particular use case. If you just want to more genericize this, is anybody who's not ready to hit that apply now button is a great place to put them. Because what are the question you got to ask yourself is, what are you doing for those people who are not ready to apply now? Or are you doing probably a drip campaign, probably have a reminder on your calendar to follow up with them? Not everyone's going to register for this app, but the people that do and dive into this, you'll be seeing the usage and you'll be getting these instant alerts from the app when they are reaching milestones. So if they move from like a getting ready status to a ready, you're going to get notified. If they run a readiness assessment and get 4 stars, you're going to get notified. If they're out favoring a bunch of properties, you're going to get notified. So the app is doing a lot of that kind of keeping you up to date on what they're doing, and you can make the call on what to check in with. Other things that might not be, hey, getting to the next step of pre-approval, but you get a notification when they move up a credit tier. That could just be a good excuse to reach out and say, hey, congratulations, you're moving in the right direction. Like, keep up the good work. So building that trust with them. So Tom, we have a bunch of short videos. We're working on a branded one for FinToolbox. I'm not sure, John, if you already have something ready available, but we are working on some videos that's in our queue to do the short overview videos.
Yeah, Tom, I have there's probably 4 or 5 inside of our community that I've already done that are kind of co-branded with how it works. There's also FinLocker themselves on their website has a bunch of different things. I can probably even break it down in here where you can go. So it's really a team effort. And then FinLocker also has a thing called Key Steps, which again is a similar program. And there's a bunch of just things out there. And I can also show you how to do screen shares, different things. Happy to work with you and help try and make very specific things here. And yeah, I'm happy to try and help with short videos any way that I can. And it's actually relatively easy and keeps getting easier. Let me show you kind of this next thing. And I may have to actually, yeah, the slide doesn't really work. I'm going to go right to the PowerPoint. There is a slide. Maybe I can find it someplace else. Because I did it in a PowerPoint, it doesn't. It's not it. I apologize. So there's this. So here's kind of a roadmap of the best way to use this app. And hopefully you can see it doing it this way. And this is, oh, what's that? So inside of here, you've got all of these different places that you can bring clients in, right? Whether it be social media, web traffic, first-time home buyers. I've got some clients that are using this app along with lead buys and seeing pretty good results sending this over to their lead buys. Any clients that were turned down, your database, your realtors, your community. So anything that you would be doing at the top end of your funnel to bring business in is a great place for it to start. From there, you set up some call to actions. They go into everybody gets a QR code on a little digital business card with a short little web link is how they enter into your ecosystem. From there, it takes them to a co-branded landing page. And inside of the landing page, I think there's probably 5 or 6 different lead magnets in there that you could use. Is your credit a problem? And we can actually show you a page, but a really neat landing page with a lot of different reasons why somebody would land there. And there's probably 7 or 8 different call to actions on that page to get people to click in advance. You could run 50 different social media posts, all pointing to one specific section of that, and talk to somebody. Hey, lending world's super simple. If you're thinking about just getting started, it works on one premise: risk equals rate. One of the biggest key drivers is your credit score. Do you know your credit score? Download our app and find out. You want to find 3 easy ways to improve your credit? Do this. So there's a ton of different ways you could drive traffic back to that. They can go to the landing page. From there, here's all the consumer perks, right? Free credit monitoring, credit simulation, savings tracker, spending analysis, home value, optimizer. They can chat directly with their LOs. It gives them Freddie Mac rates. It's constantly publishing average national rates inside of there. Net worth widgets, a whole ton of education stuff. And coming soon, Chris, this is the coming soon. I'm going to actually, at some point in the not too distant future, you're actually even going to be able to upload your database into here and have invites sent out for all of these things for your clients.
Yes. So 2 things on that. This is coming soon. I don't have an exact date yet, but it's probably going to be somewhere in the late Q2 timeframe. You'll be able to go upload your database with 2 aspects. So one is more of the, if any of you use like HomeBot or My Home IQ, to be able to hit somebody, their property, you've closed a loan with, you can just give them the valuation digest, but then the link, your own personal link, will live in that digest, and then they'll be able to go deeper into the app. So it's great that they got their home value, but now take it a step deeper. You can track your net worth, all of your assets and liabilities, get credit monitoring all built in. So that'll be one. Then there'll be another aspect of, you could upload a list of just all of your prospects or turndowns, and we'll be managing our own invite nurture campaigns that will hit people on a series of emails. And as soon as they've signed up, since we're sending the invites, we'll know, and we'll be able to turn off those journeys. So it's going to be some of the stuff you're probably used to in terms of uploading lists. That will be coming. It's just going to be more than just a home value, home market report. You can also start contacting prospects. So we're working through all the details on that now, but we're really excited about it.
Yeah, and it's been a request that I've had from a lot of people. Hey, I'd love to be able to do these things. So just know that I've had this app now for, 6, 7 months. Every single month it continues to get better. And Chris had mentioned before, they're still a startup, but they've been doing it for years, and it's pretty dialed in. And as far as theirs, it's far from a startup as how well it actually works. So that's the one thing. It's not a facade. It's actually a real working, functioning thing on the back end. So your client goes through
years and millions of dollars that have gone into the development of this app.
And another thing that they don't talk about a lot, they were able to raise money last year, and I think that they raised it relatively easily. Like, they had a mark and they raised the money. They didn't spend 9 years raising money. Like a lot of people that are smart in a place where a lot of people aren't investing in mortgage tech, FinLocker was able to go out and raise money in a market that definitely was not easy to raise money in. And I think that they hit it relatively, like, it wasn't pulling teeth. They didn't have to lie to a bunch of people about what they're doing because they're actually doing it. So I think that's a testament. Anytime you see people raise money, especially in the mortgage space, it means that they don't suck.
Well, I'd take that one step further on the raising money. So not only did we raise money, but we were looking for the right partners to raise money with. And so a lot of the new cool property search stuff, like searching with AI, being able to pull all those details back into a financial analysis, that's done with our partner. The person that powers is Home Genius, but Home Genius is a company underneath Radian, the big private mortgage insurance company. And so they partner with us, really believing that the 2 technologies play really well together. So it wasn't just investment dollars, which was what we wanted, but it was something to also collectively grow the business by combining some of our product sets.
Yeah, and if we go back to that Zillow slide that I showed before, where Zillow is buying up all of these little chunks to everything from renters all the way through title insurance to create one unified ecosystem that's really good for Zillow. FinLocker's kind of doing the same thing, but it makes a system that's really good for you as the individual loan officer. Not many people are going after the onesie twosie loan officer. They're trying to build some large enterprise thing. So super cool. Again, I'm selling, like, I have no ownership interest in it. It's just I'd like to. It's just a really cool thing. I didn't have enough money to invest, apparently. They didn't even ask me. I wonder why. Uh, it's just really cool, works well. And so your client signs up, co-branded link. Once they're inside of there, a lot of cool things happen. And there's also a bunch of loan officer alerts, and I can actually show you here, but they use Total Expert. So if you know of Total Expert has a whole massive email campaign that's built out with them, where each one of your clients, the journey in the email is not the same. So on November 20th, every person doesn't get your pumpkin spice latte recipe from your CRM inside of your drip campaign. They're getting, if somebody is just getting started with credit score problems, guess what they're getting? An email specific to linking their credit and things and tools that they can do to improve their credit. So every person is put on a customized journey. And for us, they all receive emails anywhere from 1 to 3 per month. And they're coming from my FinToolBox is how it appears inside of their email. And that's coming co-branded with you as if you were sending them 2 or 3 pieces of mail a month with different things inside of their journey. So a bunch of alerts. And then on the back end, there is a whole consumer platform where you can see all of the interaction and everything that they do. And all I would tell you is just trust me on this part that these things work. Any kind of questions there? That's kind of the client's journey beginning to end. Anything that would stick out or things that you maybe have a question about right now? Okay. Realtor partners. I think another big thing, Chris had mentioned it. You can share and share co-branded links with as many realtor partners as you want. We're not limiting how many clients could be in there. You don't have to pick and choose which agent you sign up, because you're like, some of the other things you maybe have to pay $25, $50 per agent that you put in. They get a finite number of seats. Come one, come all. Yeah, if you can sign up 100 agents and they send you one deal every other year, that's 50 closings from somebody that sends you a deal every other year. I think most people would take 50 closings.
There's Michael put in the chat is a good kind of statement and I believe question. He said there's agent talking points on the key steps page that Chris shared. We notify agents when clients start their property search and save your property. You can provide agents with other insights on their clients on your weekly call meeting. That's all exactly right. One other thing in there, so it's not just property search and saving a property. If they enroll their property for evaluation, they already own a home, they're going to get notified with those details. If they save a certain search parameters, so in this zip code, this price range, this bed bath count, they're going to get notified with that. And those all are instant alerts too. So if they go favorite a new property, that agent's going to get notified. So are you. But to Michael's point, also, there is some more PII level information within that you get on the back end of the dashboard. So the agents don't have access to the dashboard that you have, but they get alerted. Now, this is just my own personal opinion and what I've seen, how some of these loan officers really successfully talk to the realtors. It's not as much about saying, hey, there's this new tech and just go use it. It's more about how is this going to add value to your business? And I think I look at it from a couple different ways. One is agents just like yourself have clients that are not ready to transact now. They're just in that looky-loo stage. Well, wouldn't you want to put them into a system that can help them on all of their getting ready, their finances ready, but also keep tabs on when they are searching, when they're doing that property intent related stuff. And as a loan officer, I can come partner with you and you don't have to take the heavy load of doing all the check-ins for that person that's 6 months out. Let me work some of those longer tailed leads and we can do that through this app.
Like I said, there's a ton of good resources out there. I try to put a bunch inside of our community. So I'm constantly trying to post stuff in there. There's a lot of resources. There's so many great places to go to get and help to get this out in front of people. But agents don't have a place for that client that's 6 months out, 12 months out, 18 months out. And I've got a little picture I put up here. We don't sell the drill. We also don't sell the hole that the drill does. we're actually selling the picture that she's hanging on the wall of her family. And that's what this helps do, is it helps bridge the gap between somebody today. The features would be the drill. The hole would be the result. It's gap from where they are to home ownership. And even within there, the closing's kind of just the beginning. So it's really cool. This here's what your agents get. They get a co-branded QR code on the bottom of when the client's interacting with the app at any given time, the lender's there. And if you have an agent partner, the agent is shared inside of there. And like Chris was mentioning, any interaction that the client has with the app that's property related, the agent's being notified. So as they're out favoriting a property, as different things are changing for that consumer, it's also changing and the agent's being notified. You want a super powerful way to make contact with your agents without a biweekly follow-up call? Get 20 clients in here that are interacting with the app. That agent's seeing your name 20 times every 2 weeks as clients are out there interacting with the app. And you can even take a client that came to you and assign it to an agent through the app. And then they're going to be getting that without, they didn't need to do anything. You just referred them into the app. So again, another way to do it, all adding value back to your agent partners. And then inside of here, right, like inside of the FinToolbox, inside of our circle community, there is a whole quick start guide that has a bunch of things inside of here. How do you sign up agents? Different emails that you can send out, different cadences. There's some, let me find it here. I've got an email that is in there when I sign up a engaging with it. And once an agent kind of plays around with this and has signed themselves up on 1 or 2 clients, you've kind of got your hooks in them and they're going to continue to use this. They don't have to do it 50 times to see the value. They only need to see it a couple of times to see the value. And this here is the actual a client that is in that one. So this is the app, this is the dashboard, but this is that same thing. There's myself and there's Jimmy. I can schedule a meeting with me. I can contact me. I can enroll my property. I can do a lot of different things in there. There's the property search feature that I think is really cool. I can put whatever I want in here. And the one thing you'll notice is I'll search my own zip. I want to reach out to my agent, Jimmy. Watch this. Just reached out to Jimmy. He just got an email letting him know that John Test is out searching for properties. And if I go in here and look at this, a little bit different than looking at Zillow, gives me all kind of the same stuff as what Zillow, they're plugged right into the NMLS. But what you notice is no place on here has anybody asked me to get a Zillow's estimate, to contact a Zillow agent, to set up a showing with a Zillow agent. Still no place somebody trying to sell me anything. It's got market trends. This is a really cool thing that I don't get on Zillow. All of the properties that have been sold inside that area. It's even got little things like I can look at characteristics, like this location based on quietness is a 9.7. This is out by me. I live in the country. Different amenities, education. So there's just a lot of cool stuff inside of the property search feature. Inside of the client's FinToolbox, tons of calculators, all kinds of different stuff. And what I would tell you, if you want to plug around in there, not trying to sell you the drill or the hole, just know that it does a lot of cool things. And if you want to see it in more detail, 100% happy to show you kind of how that works. But this is kind of it in a nutshell. And I don't know. One other thing I will show you here too is the back end, is the admin portal. maybe if it didn't, what you see on the back end, I may have just done something too. I don't know. So you have a dashboard inside of there. The dashboard gives you all kinds of very easy get started, quick start guides. This whole thing probably takes 20 to 30 minutes from the time you say go to get set up. It's not something that takes you days or weeks. It's literally, it's less than an hour to have everything up and working and ready to go. But you can change your profile. You can do whatever. There's a really cool AI bot inside of here. I can ask it to give me social media posts, all kinds of different things. How do I set up clients? All of my consumers' lockers. Like I'll look at let's view this person, right? So this person came in and signed up. I don't even know who they are. It's unassigned. There's no agent in California. They signed up on the 20th. They ran one home buyer scenario. They're looking at a house that's $1 million. Cash to close is 100 grand. They make 300,000. They've got a relatively low credit, relatively low debt, but they're 2 out of 3 stars. They're probably missing out on the DTI, right? Otherwise, they would have that 3rd star. But I now know all of this information about them, and they came through my app. I have no idea how this client got here. Somehow or another, they found my own personal app. But you get this level of detail on all of your clients. And then one last thing I want to show you, and then I'll open it up for questions. This right here, and this has probably changed since I've done this. This is the journey on the total expert side. So this is the email journeys that your clients would go through. So if somebody comes in here, let's say they're overcoming challenges, they're going to get an email 30 minutes after enrolling, day 3, day 8, and day 38. And then this is what the emails look like. And they're very specific. So I've talked a lot, and I'm going to stop
Real quick,
and see if
can I just add something to these journeys? So as you just think about the value of these journeys, one is to get them to dive deeper into the app, and the more folks dive deeper, the more they come back. But these journey emails get on average of a 60% open rate. You know, it's somewhere in the 10% click rate. So if you think about that comparing to standard marketing emails, it's much higher. And your information is within the body of these emails. And again, all the calls to action are to come back to the app. So it's just another way to start doing a scale. And then if you back that into some of the other data points, you know, on average, some do better than others, but on average, we see over a 50% 90-day return rate of consumers. So you think about that longer nurture consumer, that's somebody who is coming back to you because of the updates and the tools that are being given to them in the app with your information. And then you take other like individual widgets, for example, that readiness assessment that John showed. If someone runs that once, on average, they come back 3.5 times in a month to rerun it again. So these are just other points where we're seeing true data on just sticky points of folks coming back to the app.
Another thing that's really cool, like on the readiness, when you run readiness, so let's say I go in here and I just do this, I don't know, 450, how much money do you have saved to buy a house? I'm just kind of guessing here, right? Annual income before taxes, credit score, I will say, I don't know, 700. Monthly debt, $1,000. And I view my snapshot. So it now takes me into this. I've got 3 out of 4 stars. I don't know why I'm missing. So my cash to close, I'm fine. My employment history, I'm good. My credit score, I'm good. My DTI is a little bit high on the front end ratio. So I'm missing there, but I can also go right here. I can modify my loan options to go in, change some things around, update the different details. Consumer could share it with their lender, or they can also go and look at properties. When I go to the property search now, I can actually search for property. It's not popping up. Maybe I didn't save something, but it will search for properties inside of my price range. I think it's because I don't have the 4 stars there. But again, it's trying to be intuitive and bring me back to things based on my own readiness and allowing me to search for properties that are inside of my kind of shopping ballpark. And Tom, you asked about sharing the email templates. They're already out there, but I will link back. I've got them inside of the community. They're all shared, exactly what's happening there, but I will reshare that along with this as well. Any other kind of questions that somebody might have? There's just so many tools in there, so many cool things that the consumer can do. Well, if anybody does, where to start? Thank you so much. Yeah, where to start? I think that the best place to start, I like to tell people this. If you can take this thing, I think it's a fantastic agent outreach tool. I can reach out to agents. I think it's one of the most powerful places. And I can reach out to agents and I can ask them for their advice on the app. I'm not trying to sell them an app. I'm not trying to get a demo for an app. All I'm trying to do with an agent is ascertain that the agent potentially has business that they're losing because they don't have a really good long-term follow-up system. If I can do that, then my next thing is, hey, would you be opposed to giving this app a try? Very few people will ever say they're opposed just because people don't like to be opposed to things. Okay, fantastic. You're not opposed to giving it a try. I've got 2 different options here. I can go willy-nilly pick out a picture online of you to create the app, or do you want to go ahead and send me one? If these people are anything like my wife does not let me, I have to get approval to post something online. Most people want to see what's being posted instead of it just being willy-nilly that you go and pick out one. So almost always they will come back with, no, let me send you a picture. Great. They send you the picture. You now have created that conversation piece to get them this app that you're not charging them anything for. Once the app is signed up, your next step is to get them to begin to interact with the app and download it themselves. So I think it's a fantastic place to start with agent outreach. And then every one of your clients, you can find a reason to get them to download this. And it's not only an app. There's a desktop version and an app. So it's not either or.
Piggybacking on that, I want to go back to Michael's questions. There's agent talk point, or no, sorry, not that one. What is the best way to overcome agents' objections to partner and use this? Most agents, good ones, already have some sort of CRM or 2 as well as a process. What's the best way to break down that very objection? Most people don't want to work out of multiple systems. Well, the great thing here is they're not working on multiple systems. They're getting their link and they're putting that into their CRM to invite. So that message that they just set up a message for somebody who is not ready to transact now. Try out my new app. And then the emails alerts, they just get email alerts. They're not logging into another system to try to find out. They're just getting emailed when one of those clients actually does something intent related. So it's not about this is a whole new system. It's just here's your link for those folks that are not ready to transact, those people you want me to help nurture along. That's just send the link. That's all it is. And then we go back to, from a sales perspective, when you feel is the best time to get a prospect lead into the app. And then piggybacking on the latest question, what's the best way to strategize to get partners signed up? And, there's a lot of information. So one of the other suggestions I have is just start with a few of your clients you're having conversations with. I'm sure each week you're having conversations with a client who is credit challenged, who is, needs to save a little bit more. Talk about the very specific features of the app that will help them along their journey. You don't have to say this app does 20 things. Start with what feature of the app is going to help them most. Naturally, they'll go and explore that. And we see that once they engage in one feature of the app, they start engaging in more. So the more you can target it, and then you'll start getting learnings yourself on how customers are responding to those particular things. And for all of you, I know John's already mentioned this to you many times before, but I highly recommend you just go create your own consumer account underneath your link so you know what your clients are seeing. It takes, I mean, you could really be well versed in the app and enroll everything in less than 30 minutes. It takes a minute to register, but dive into credit within a few minutes. You can enroll a few financial accounts. You can run readiness. It doesn't take much time to really understand how the app works.
You also start to begin getting the sequences, you get the emails. It is a very powerful tool across multiple different facets. It's a CRM. It's an actual place to drive a client to go and begin to interact, to add value when they're not even ready. So we're always pushing our apply now link. I would just challenge you, if we go all the way back to the beginning, where you might want to push an apply now link, could I push them here first as a step one, add a little bit of value then before I close them to go to my apply now link? So Tom says, what's the best strategy to get partners signed up? FA sign up. Good.
Financial advisors.
Chris, go if you have something there.
So we don't have an actual like spot where it says meet your financial advisor. You can technically sign them up as an agent, and then in their personal description when you're setting them up, you can say this is your financial advisor. However, there it'll still say meet your agent on the little card, but the detail underneath will be the financial advisor. So we have several clients that are doing that. On our roadmap is the ability to pull in more referral partners, from financial advisors to credit counselors to all that stuff. We're not there yet, but you could add them as an agent with just using the description piece to really highlight that this is the financial advisor.
Inside of ours, we have 2 or 3 financial advisors that are using it with their clients. And the way that it's been sold to financial advisors is kind of this way. It's almost like you lean in and you whisper to them, I got this thing. It's not really made for you, but I'll give one to you, my financial advisor partner. So your clients can go out there and use it and still see you. It's just going to say agent. Is that cool? And they're always like, they feel like they're getting something exclusive. And another place that this has worked really well, divorce attorneys always need to know, they need to see people's credit. They want to understand the equity position inside of the home. They want to understand debt to income ratio, how much people can qualify for. So believe it or not, this is a fantastic tool, again, for divorce attorneys to kind of suss out what a client can and can't do, maybe early on when they're first having those conversations. So another great thing, and we've got divorce attorneys right now with shared links as well. Again, and somebody had a relationship and they gave it to them kind of as, like an on the side kind of thing. So I think there's a lot of use cases. If you have questions, like we have this call every week that we go through and do this very thing, where we talk about different things, use cases, different ways that you can sign up, different things that you can do. Chris and them run a call every Wednesday as well. So there's a call, there's a variety of resources out there. I follow Chris. What I do in the FinToolbox, key steps, FinLocker, it's all the same app, just kind of different branding and different way people are doing it. And at the end of the day, all I really care about is that you're successful in closing a lot of loans, because I don't want to be working for Zillow at some point. So that's what it is. And Chris has got to jump. Anybody else got any questions? I'm happy to stay on and ask any. If anybody's got anything, if anybody wants to kind of go into more depth, more detail, you're with me inside of our circle community. Message me in there. I'm happy to show you anything, walk you through any of the little tidbits. But the app works well and continues to work better day in, day out. So I do appreciate you being here. And if anybody's got any questions, let me know. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Definitely feel free to reach out if you've got any questions, concerns, anything I didn't answer. And if it's something that you do, you don't have one today and you want, for sure, reach out for that. The ROI on this thing, I think, is very easy to have it pay for itself. Probably one closing a year will cover the cost of having this app all year. So I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you all. Reach out to me inside of the group.
Thanks, John.
Hey, thanks, Marty. Take care, guys.
Bye.